Welcome back to the Havoc Rundown. I'm your host, Justin, and tonight we're diving into the aftermath of the first qualifying event of the 2026 NHRL season, which took place on February 7th. From wild upsets to dominant runs, this was a stacked event full of shakeups, surprises, and signature chaos. And to help us unpack it all, we've invited two of the most iconic and chaotic forces in the NHRL universe, or combat robotics universe as a whole, Julian and Dima Papasian, right? I say your name all the time, but I feel like I say it.
100% right.
Okay, awesome, beautiful.
That was like better than I could do.
You might know Julian from the energetic chants behind Mako, or Dima from the fiery madness of Turbo Fiend, but together they're one of the most recognizable and entertaining sibling teams in the entire scene. From bold bot branding to bold desk takes, they've been part of every corner of the NHRL experience, and we're excited to hear their take on the season kickoff. So welcome, Julian and Dima. We are so excited to have you on. Thank you for being here.
Heck yeah, I'm very excited too. Can I curse? How many curse words am I? I'm just kidding.
Like fiddlesticks.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah.
What the Sorry.
Yeah. That's perfect.
I interrupted you, Dima, already.
No, I just
If you can't control yourself, I can go back through and correct any of really bad ones, but it's fine.
Okay.
By the way, hi, Rain.
He did so well during the fantasy draft, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Okay, so joining me as always is the Rundown crew. We are minus Ashley tonight, but with me in the studio is the Game Master, Ryan Hunter.
Hello.
Our Chaos Conduit, Thomas Carroll.
Marty is a great robot, and we need more of them and set them free so they can roam in the field.
If anybody doesn't know what he's talking about, who don't have Stop and Shops near them, it's the Stop and Shop cleanup robot. So, and the webmaster, Tony Baker.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, so we are going to kick it off by going over to our favorite little corner of the podcast. And Ryan has a game that I'm very excited for that we've seen across social media, but I don't think we've ever seen it done with combat robotics. So we're going to head over to Ryan's Game Corner.
So
tell us what we're doing.
So originally I was going to do a wrestling thing, but Ashley would kill me if I did it without her. So we're not doing wrestling stuff tonight. So instead, we're going to do something that I've been thinking about for a little while. We're going to play Spyfall. If you guys don't know how to play Spyfall is a very fun game. So this is how it goes. One of you is the spy. The rest of you all know a secret code word. In this case, the code word will be the name of one specific combat robot. I'm going to DM everybody the code word, and the spy will be just DM'd spy. So please have your Discords open.
I don't think I'm the spy.
Oh, yeah?
I haven't DM'd you yet. All right.
He doesn't know.
So, at this point, the spy does not know which robot it is. Their job is to figure it out. Now, everybody else knows what the robot is. So, in order to find the spy, we're all going to ask each other questions, except for me. I'm just going to be the game master. I'll be outside.
We're going to ask questions, or we're going to say, usually it's you say a word that's related.
No. So, you're going to each take turns asking each other questions. You cannot directly ask for the name of the robot, of course. You can ask smart questions, though. If you're not the spy, you want to answer in a way that proves that you know the bot to everybody else without giving away what the robot is. You don't want to look suspicious or anything like that. But the spy wants to figure out what the robot is. We will go with 2 questions each. So we're all going to go through one question, and then we'll start again another round with another question. And then at the end of that, we will all vote to figure out who the spy is. All right? At any time, though, the spy can interrupt the proceedings, guess the name of the robot. If they are correct, they win the round. If they are incorrect, instantly done. Instantly lost. Okay?
So you know the name of the if you just say the name of the robot, then you can just throw the whole game.
That's why if you ask questions, you got to make sure it's, you're not too direct.
Yeah.
This is tricky. This is like Among Us, but
yes, it is very Among Us. Yes. All right. Does anyone have any questions about the game? Does everyone understand?
Sure. We'll figure it out.
I think so.
All right. So I'm going to set it up by DMing everybody.
It's a good thing that we're allowed to say Mako right now.
I have one crazy question.
What?
What if when you are told the robot and you're not the spy, you just guess it instantly and say, I'm the spy. And then if nobody can challenge you on it, and then somebody else has to say, wait, but I got the spy in the, excuse me,
Okay, we can add a funny stuff.
in the web app. And then who do you believe then? That's the true second layer Among Us part of it.
Oh,
Yes.
God. Put me in that
Going full
event right
Inception
now.
on us.
Give me 1 second.
Build that later.
All right. We should be set up. Everybody should have received a message. All right. We can begin.
The secret robot is Chainsaw Kitty.
I'll tell you what. Thomas, you have the first question. You can pick one person.
I pick one person, ask them one question.
Yes.
Julian, what'd you have for dinner tonight?
I actually had a single bag of Andy Cap's hot fries, and that's all I ate tonight. Shout out my boy Andy Cap. You know
How
Andy?
about that?
Do you know
They're
Andy?
delicious.
I guess I can't ask if you know Andy. That's not my question. But they are delicious.
All right. That's how Thomas decided to spend the first question. All right, Julian,
I was told to ask a
pick
question.
somebody else a question.
All right, Thomas, do you know my boy Andy Cap?
I have no idea who he is.
Oh my!
Am I
I
allowed
think he
to-
might be the spy. I'm not locking him in, but that's kind of suspicious.
And Ryan's like, yeah, this is going to be
Am I
our
allowed to Google who Andy Cap is?
Does anyone know who Andy Cap is?
Me, I handed you the bag of hot fries earlier.
All right, sorry.
And now we know who
I'll
Andy
ask a
Cap
real
is.
question.
Mailbag.
It's
Ask a real
a
question.
weird spy check to have to answer, but I know who Andy Cap is.
Okay, Thomas, do you like this robot?
What robot?
The robot?
The what? Andy Cap? I mean, like, I
No,
guess
the robot.
the robot.
God.
Oh wait, yeah. I'm not a spy. I actually love the robot.
God.
Thomas is either screwing with this game or playing it very well. I don't know which one it is.
That's how the game is supposed to work.
Jeffrey may have gone better for this.
You're letting Thomas who's line you, by the way. Fatal mistake.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Thomas, you have a second question. Pick somebody.
Tony. Wait, am I supposed to only ask a question about the robot?
Yes, you're supposed to. So
You're
basically, the
supposed to
point
ask
is,
a question to determine if I'm the spy.
Yeah.
Unless you're the spy, and then you have no idea. Right?
Okay,
You have no idea.
Tony, do you like the color scheme of this robot? It's pretty good.
Yeah, I know. There's some other ones that are better, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess.
all right, Tony, it is your question.
I'm going to ask Justin.
Okay.
Oh no, not Justin.
Let's see. Do you know what sound this robot makes?
Loud.
I feel like that's a valid answer. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm trying to play how I've seen it played before, where it's usually like a one word answer, or everyone says like one word about like so.
No,
That's
I
how
mean,
you don't give enough information away. You're supposed to be able to answer without giving enough information away.
When you gave the answer, I thought to myself, not bad, but I don't know if I'm supposed to judge your answer.
Well, most robots are loud, so
I got
Alright.
except for this one.
All right, Justin, it is your question.
Thomas kind of stole my color question.
I mean,
So
I don't think
Thomas.
I got right.
No, don't ask Thomas. Thomas is out. Thomas has asked two questions.
What
Okay.
do you mean? I'm a great answer.
Julian. Well, I don't know if this would. In one word, how would you describe this bot's fighting style?
chaotic. All right, so now
All
it's
right.
my question.
All right, yep. Julian, your
All right.
second question.
I think I know who the spy is already. I'm
yeah.
not gonna. But here we go. Dima,
Yeah?
would you consider this robot angelic or evil?
100% evil.
Okay.
And I'm the
Okay.
best judge of it.
Okay.
Sorry, they said something about Turbo Fiend being chaotic flames earlier, and I got excited.
Well, that's true.
I thought about doing one of your robots, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take those off. It is not Mako or either. I was thinking about doing Spy and then having Julian be the spy doing Mako, but it's not what's
That'd be
going on.
Does Julian ask a second question, or do I ask a question now?
No,
Is it both-
you
is
ask
it
a
both of me?
question now. You are on your first question.
Thinking. I can't ask Thomas another question. I just want to be
No.
sure.
That's so lame.
I just want to be sure. Thomas, you tripped me up on that.
I should definitely be able to answer a question. This is I'm being impressed.
I think you have to go to one of the ones that haven't had their second question yet.
Ryan.
No, not me. No.
Eyes on him.
I know who the
Whatever.
spy is.
The house can't win this one.
No.
Did not realize. Justin.
Yep.
I don't even think it's you, so this is just a test. Yes or no? Would you describe this robot as skeletal?
Yes.
Boom.
Okay.
Imagine having a clear answer to that. You know what the robot is.
Justin, you could either go back to Tony or Dima.
I think we'll go to Tony, and then Tony will ask Dima. I think that's how we'll do this.
Yep.
Tony, is this a bot you would draft?
Yes. Okay, Dima.
Okay.
Have you fought this bot?
Oh,
That's a
oh man.
I am unsure of this answer. I'm sure Dima knows the answer.
Oh,
but-
Dima knows
man.
the answer.
yeah.
I was a mini bot. Does that count?
I think that counts.
Hey, we've fought like 100 times, so that's
Okay.
most robots.
Yeah, I don't think it's hard.
Dima, you have one last question you can ask of anybody you want.
Thinking. I feel like nobody's asking technical questions. Do people get hyped for this robot? And that one goes to Julian.
What's funny is I was just involved in a conversation where they did not get as much hype on Saturday as they normally do. And it was kind of strange. But overall, big time. All right.
I think. Wait, nope. We're
No.
done.
Yeah, we're
Those
done.
are 2 questions each.
Yep, sorry.
Now we go into voting.
Yes.
All right. The plurality votes for the spy. All right. If
What
the
does that
spy is
mean?
picked, the spy can still win by telling us what the name of the robot is.
Nice.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to start with Dima. What is your vote?
I vote Thomas.
Okay. There's 1 vote for Thomas. Justin, what is your
Thomas's
vote?
face. Mine's for Thomas as well, but Thomas's face.
Okay. Thomas, what is your vote?
Y'all are getting played like a fiddle. It's Tony.
Okay. Tony, what is your voice? Your vote. So far, we have 2 for Thomas, 1 for Tony.
I'm going to go with Tom.
See,
Okay.
See, that's
3
what-
Thomas.
That's what a spy would say.
Julian.
Julian, even though we can't win, you can at least show your support.
I can at least show my support. And I will say that Tony didn't answer instantly about the fantasy thing. And I know, like, for anyone, that's an instant yes. So I'm voting Tony.
Okay. That's 2 Tony.
But it's
3 Thomas.
probably Thomas.
So
it's probably
we have
Thomas.
a plurality towards Thomas. All right. So will the spy reveal themselves by making a guess of what the robot is?
Anubis.
Oh my.
It is not Anubis. Justin
Oh
was
my
the spy, however, and wasn't voted
Oh
once.
my god. What? The skeletal.
Why did you answer skeletal like that?
I was either going to say yes or no, and I knew I had to do it immediately. So I just
Oh my
shot.
god!
Played like a
Honestly,
fiddle.
when he said yes, I was like, that was so good. I was like, I have a 50-50 shot. I'm either about to be blown up or not, but I can't. I just have to say yes or no.
I had you.
Yes.
I had you.
You thought you had me. You never
No, yeah,
had.
I
never had your
I
car.
thought that perfectly eliminated any possibility that wasn't Thomas.
Oh,
I gave you
sorry.
I gave you
I don't
such
even know how the
perfect.
game works.
I put such perfect benefit of the doubt into that one question too.
Okay,
Like,
now I know.
I was like, it might really not be Thomas. Let me throw a really good one at you.
Yeah, I think I kind of threw this with that handicap question, but it was important.
All right. So here's my question. Do we want to do one more round or do we want to go on to the interview?
We need to do one more. I need to.
Okay. Okay. Let's go quick.
Offended.
This time we're
One
going
question.
really quick though.
Okay.
Really quick.
Well, we should just
All
go around in a circle. We should just do an order and be able to ask
Okay.
anyone a question.
Okay. All right. I am going to start sending right now. All right.
Yeah.
Can't believe Justin would lie to me like that.
Justin never lied.
I didn't lie to you. I lied to Dima.
I believe Justin would lie to my own
I mean,
sister.
you lied to
like
one,
that.
you lied to the other.
You have
Very
to have like these messages ready. Next time we play
I'm
this
doing
game,
it right now. I'm doing it
No, I
right
know,
now. We're
but,
almost
like,
there.
as we're playing, you should just mark these out and just be
Yeah.
able to hit enter.
Good.
I kind of
Good.
like the typing break, like listening to it get typed out.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody has their assignments.
The secret robot is full court.
Let's start with Dima. Dima, you get the first question.
I have such.
Let's
I have
go.
such-
Let's go quick.
okay.
Snappy.
Julian, I already asked you this literal question. Do you get hyped for this robot?
Of course. All right. So now I'm going for Tony.
Yeah.
Tony, would you draft this robot?
Yes. All right. Justin, is this bot bigger or smaller than Julian's bot?
Bigger. Oh, and it's me. Oh, I can't ask that one. Is this bot in the same size category as? Oh, I'm asking. I'll ask
Yes,
Thomas. Is this bot in the same size category as Julian and Dima's bots?
combined or
No. In the same weight
Okay.
category.
What did he say
No,
from
do I
here?
ask
Sorry,
Dima?
Thomas.
He said bigger.
Do I ask Dima?
Yes.
Dima, just give an example of a sports team this robot might like.
The Lakers. Is that good?
Yeah, I guess.
What do I ask?
You pick. Second question.
So Julian, you know it's a bigger weight class than you, according to Thomas.
Mhm.
How do you think you would do fighting this robot?
I already know that I would beat it.
Well, I mean, Julian would beat any robot, so.
But this one specifically, of course I would. Not that it's a bad robot, but we... Okay.
he literally can't stop himself from being about to describe how bad he would beat this robot.
That's not what I meant.
He's Julian Papasian.
All right, is that every question?
No. Julian gets the second question.
Got
All
it.
right. Dima, would you beat this robot?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I
Let's-
don't want to discount myself. I could get extremely lucky, but it's probably not going to ever happen.
Dima, you've had your second question, so pick somebody to ask their next question.
Tony, ask somebody a question.
Thomas, what color is this bot?
Red-ish.
I love the
All right.
pause.
Thomas, your question.
Tony, do you already know who the spy is?
Yes.
Justin, your second question.
Is there another classic NHRL robot that this robot takes its design style from, Tony?
Yes.
Hmm.
Okay. We are in the voting block. Okay. Let us start with Thomas.
Julian.
Okay. Justin.
I'm gonna say Tony.
Okay. Dima. We're 1-1.
This is really hard. I'm gonna say Tony.
Okay. 2 for Tony, 1 for Julian. Tony.
Thomas.
Okay. So far, the plurality is Tony. Julian, who's your vote?
I mean, it's obviously Tony, right?
Okay, the plurality has voted Tony.
Okay.
That's
All
really
right.
not me.
It's over.
Will the spy reveal themselves by making a guess of what this robot is?
Is it Blue Marlin?
It is not Blue Marlin. No,
How
it
would
is
you not?
not.
Thomas said it
Diva
was
literally
red.
almost gave it away. Diva said what sports team, and Julian said the Lakers. It's full court, dude.
Lakers.
It's
No,
full
Lakers
Oh,
because of this. Blue Island.
Hold on. In my defense.
Wait,
You
what?
didn't know if I was the spy. You didn't know if I was the spy, and I did say Lakers.
How did everybody miss this?
Hold on. I thought that, well, a lake, first off. Second off, I thought it was Blue Marlin because Thomas did the red thing.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
Reddish.
Yeah.
Okay.
and then I thought
yeah,
Dima
yeah.
was baiting me because
Yeah.
that's one of the only robots I've faced at 12 pounds.
No, but you're gonna love what the robot is because I kind of gave you a super easy
No, it's
out.
full,
Yeah.
it's full court.
Yeah,
Someone
it's
said
full
already
court.
said
No,
it.
I see.
Yeah.
It was between Tony and Julian for me, and I just thought Julian had like a crap ton of confidence. That's why I kind of just like, oh yeah, he thinks he can just cut full court in half. That's why the only reason that I went for Tony was that last question. We were like, and I was like, Smee, dude, Smee.
Yeah. Evil Julian is
Well,
a
that's what I'm
great
saying.
liar.
I'm like, wait a
Sorry.
second. I'm like, yeah.
No, I saw why he was doing that. I was thinking like full court isn't like it's different when you size it up different. It's not 1-1.
I honestly thought the game was given away when somebody asked Julian if it's the same size, and he said bigger, and it's like, no, Leviathan is a 12 pound, so it's the same size. Technically, I thought it, but it's technically bigger because it's wider and everything like that. But okay, you know what? I really like this game. This game is definitely coming back at some
That was
point.
fun. Yeah.
I really like it. All right, that's the end of the game corner. Thank you, Spies.
All right, thanks for having us on.
Oh
We'll
yeah.
see you guys in a few weeks.
That's all the episode is, just game corner.
World's shortest episode.
I would love to do a full Spyfall episode and everything like that. That would be fun. All right.
Yeah.
Get out of my game corner.
Well, thank you, Ryan. That was a fun new game for us to try. So we are going to move right into our signature interview segment. It's time for 5 in Focus. So I am going to start off with Ashley's question because Ashley is not here tonight, but she did submit a question for you. And Ashley loves asking people's favorite music, favorite things, just getting into our guests a little bit. So her question was, what's your favorite pizza place in the Old Lyme area?
I am very opinionated about pizza in Connecticut.
You're in
as you know.
Connecticut. If you
Yeah,
were
exactly. I was
opinionated
gonna
about
say.
pizza, I'd
but more than most people. Like there are a lot of pizza places that have like a pre-made dough, and I don't know like how they get any business at all. Like you go on Google and like every restaurant has 4.5 stars, so you never know. Regardless, right now I think my favorite pizza place is Sal's Pizza in Old Saybrook. Not a sponsor, but if you're interested, I'm interested. And if you've ever seen that Office episode, which is like, do you want a medium amount of good pizza or a large amount of bad pizza? I tend, like the size of the pizza really can sway me, but it's also good pizza. So it's the double threat for me. But also Pizza Works in Old Saybrook is also very good, but the pies are so small.
What's your preferred style of Connecticut pizza?
Oh, I like a thin crust. Dima will argue and say that I like New Haven, but I like New York. I like a little bit of a floppy crust. Whereas New Haven is sort of burnt on the bottom.
Yeah, I was going to say New Haven's got to have that ash to it, and it's not everyone's favorite. The one that I always point to, because everyone always points to Pepe's for New Haven style pizza, and they do New Haven style pizza, but the one that like really leans into that New Haven style is Modern in New Haven, because they really char that crust, and that's kind of like New Haven's signature thing.
You don't have to wait more than 20 minutes for table, even if the line is out the door.
This is also true. Yeah, Pepe's is kind of gotten that fame where everyone wants to go to Pepe's.
Sally's is also a good weight. I do like Sally's. Like some people don't like the sauce for Sally's, but I really do like Sally's above Pepe's. Like in Modern for me was never my favorite, but I do appreciate being able to get into Modern.
Sally's has a different sauce. It's got a lot more tomato flavor, less on the cheese. So if you're more into that, go to Sally's. Otherwise, Modern is more the standard style of pizza.
And then if you want to go a little bit down the street from Pepe's and have a real Italian pizza, like a real Italian pizza, you go to Zapardi's. And it's only about a 2-minute walk down the street, and it's real Italian pizza versus New Haven style or whatever. So
I mean, I also like Connecticut Greek style. Like Greek style is really good too.
Yes.
Greek style is amazing. We have our local pizza place around here that we love. That's Greek style. It's got like a really nice, like the crust is basically they make it into the oil pan, so the crust gets like fried in a way. It's really, really damn good.
I'm like about to break a pen in half trying to figure out when to get a word in.
Sorry, Dima.
I'm insane about New Haven pizza. I think it's the best. I think it's the best in the world. I think the more burnt is better. I think Monitor is amazing. I think Sally's is great. I think Frank Pepe's is not cooked the oven high enough, and the dough is too thick. And the reason that Julian likes New Haven pizza with the ash on the bottom is because our childhood pizza place was called Papasians, which is a hilarious name, by the way, for a childhood pizza place. And they burnt the heck out of it, and it wasn't that floppy. But now I understand that Julian likes just gigantic pizza, which can hold no structure whatsoever. That's how he likes his pizza so big that it just can't hold.
Yeah, I have a clarifying question.
Yeah.
When you say that Pepe's does not cook their pizza enough, are you referring to the original in New Haven, or are you referring to the franchise locations?
It's been a while. The most recent one I had was the Mohegan Sun one, but then I was like, it kind of tastes oddly similar, which disappointed me.
The Pepe's original does cook it crispy, like to where it's black. All the other the franchises do not.
Who is crispy?
He's like some builder.
Nice.
So the real is the Little Rendezvous in Meriden.
Yeah.
Oh, the Little Rendezvous. Little Rendezvous, especially for people outside of Connecticut. So there's this place that the oven is over 100 years old. Like the oven used to be used for just baking bread, basically. And it has survived and survived. It is in this tiny little building
It's a shack.
It's a tiny little shack. And you go in the front door, then you have to walk down this long, like, hallway. And then you end up in the back of the place. And that's where the oven is and everything like that. The owner is a great guy, but he does not like people. He hates people, I'm pretty sure.
He doesn't hate people. Okay, there's this guy.
He doesn't like customers. That's what he doesn't like.
No. No, see, I've been going in there for well over a decade, and the guy has always been chill. The problem is there's this guy who I will not name who sits on a bar stool all day and preaches how one bite. No, that guy is a menace to society. His recommendation has ruined this tiny location. You used to be able to call in, get a pizza in like 20, 25 minutes. Now, if I want to sit down there and get a pizza, you have to call him like 4, 5, 6 hours on the weekend ahead of time.
Sometimes you have to call the day before. You have to call the day before for pizza. It is so, but the pizza is so good. The environment is like perfectly what you want from a pizza place. It's just like, oh, this isn't like a modern, like there's no like modern amenities. There's no nothing. It is a booth that looks like it was torn out of a diner in the 70s or 80s and placed in this place. And that's where you sit and you drink your birch beer and that's it.
So before we move on, and I will not be taking any questions.
You're making me so hungry, it's insane.
Birds get kicked out of their environment because there's wastewater and factories. There used to be like Italian mobsters, like these old guys that would always be in the dining room. They're the only people that ever eat in the dining room. And ever since this guy, you don't see them anymore.
No,
it's like the wildlife are gone. Now it's just tourists that drive from Massachusetts and New Jersey.
Yep.
So can I drop a very similar unpopular opinion about a small place in New Haven before we move on?
Yeah.
Louis' lunch is not as good as people think it is.
Louis' lunch is the worst.
Whoa! Get out of here! It's the best.
I'm kind of getting upset. I'll let you make your viewpoint, but I demand a momentary defense afterward.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah. I've had it a lot of times, both sober and not sober. I don't like the burgers, and I think they're way too overhyped.
Tell me what about it is mid? Does it just not taste good to you?
It's soggy. It's what you would get. It's what your mother would make you and toss on a piece of bread, but it's worse because it's soggy.
Oh no, the burger's just like Mama used to make.
That's what people want.
That was good.
And the place is tiny. If you go in is at all busy.
What were you just saying about a little rendezvous?
You're just like, oh.
What were you saying about character?
Yeah, but nobody's. Yeah.
It's exactly what you want out of a burger stand, like you were just saying a second ago about the pizza place.
I will say you don't go there for lunch.
They use ovens from 100 years ago. These people use like steamers from the Victorian era.
Yeah. Everything you just said about the pizza place.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't know what salt and pepper is. I really don't think he does.
You gotta really
for ketchup.
You gotta taste the steam, I guess.
Good. They picked it up, put it on the back of a truck, and moved the entire building. That's how good this place is.
Are you eating it in there?
Yes, every time I'm eating it in there. So that's because you go outside and it's like you're right at the back of one of the hospital buildings, basically, if I remember right.
Across the street from the nightclub area right there.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a real place and a real location that people actually go to.
Okay, we will move this
like 5 p.m. or later, so the lines are short.
We will move this conversation offline. Let's continue. Ryan, why don't you ask?
I thought this was the Connecticut Food Podcast, so we have to go back to robots now.
It is now.
All right.
Yeah, we'll come out with that. We'll come out with the Connecticut Food Podcast. Ryan, you ask your question.
Okay. From one controversy to another. My question is, there's a new rule update, a new judging rule update, and I know I've seen Julian talk about it and everything like that. So my question is basically, with Mako kind of being nerfed at this point, what are your plans for next to robots, and how are you doing with that design
limitation?
So this is a big hot button thing.
Yeah.
And
I also would love Dima's opinion too.
Yeah.
But like
I am so I've been waiting to move away from Mako, first off, just because I've been building it and remaking it and trying to squeeze everything out of it for like now 2.5 years. It's kind of crazy. It's been that long already.
Mm-hmm.
But with the new rules, like I'm literally not going to fight Mako under these rules. And I know that is like inflammatory and kind of extreme. But I also have talked, I'm not out here screaming and shouting saying these rules suck. I have actual critical thoughts about them, and I'm attempting to go through the correct avenues to discuss those. I hope I'm heard out. I think my opinions are well thought out. I actually have a bachelor's degree in game design, and Dima and I were obsessed with combat sports a lot before this. And I think there's a lot of parallels between video games and combat sports. So I sort of have a unique perspective, and without getting too much into this, I feel like this makes control-focused robots it's not clear how you are supposed to drive them, and the rules sort of encourage you to drive them unintelligently. So like I'm not going to. I tried it, and again, this is gonna sound like, oh, I lost, so I'm upset. Like as soon as the rules dropped, like I was like, I don't want to run Mako under these. Actually, I had 2 JDs, and both of them were flipped in my eyes. The first one, I thought I lost under the new rules, and I would have understood that. And my opponent thought they won. Turns out I won, which shocked me. And then the next fight, I tried my best to fight under these new rules. I was hyper aggressive. I wound up taking extra damage from being hyper aggressive. But I thought, okay, well, I won, and I did not. So that's very frustrating. I understand that NHRL is putting a lot of work into making the new rules. I still love NHRL. I'm wearing NHRL hoodie and an NHRL shirt. It is like the pinnacle of combat sports. Sometimes I mess up, and I think this is a mess up. And hopefully people don't hear that and decide they hate me now. But like I'm trying to be a straight shooter about it. Like
I don't think you're not being super inflammatory about any of it at all. I don't think there's anything that you've said that's really. No. Yeah. My question on that is
about being evil. Can I get a second?
Yes. Go ahead. Yes.
Let me add to what he said. So the day before NHRL, I am texting a friend of mine who knows me very well and knows about, like what Julian said, I've done combat sports. And I parallel it with basically everything that I do. I parallel it with robots. I parallel it with fighting games, which is like my other competitive hobby. And this friend also played fighting games. So it was like kind of easy to, we both made the same two parallels. My parallel that I made to her, because I know she's more of she doesn't do combat sports, she only plays fighting games, but she knows that I do. The parallel I made to her was, it's a new season in a fighting game, and it's up to me to read people the patch notes. It's up to me to explain to the audience a heck of a lot if anything has changed. Like we're trying to be in the moment, but sometimes you're like, this robot fought a lot last season, it's fighting differently now. Like, I was ready for that to come up. And she went back at me and was like, "Oh, it's like they removed grappling out of MMA." And she said that because she also said that because she knows me and Julian are grapplers. So it was a little bit like, how do I put this? She had like an instant gut reaction as somebody who's like a mega fan of the things she does. Like, she instantly was like, how does the community see it? Like, what is the big change? And I'm doing like a unbiased perspective. It's sometimes you walk into a room and it's not like breaking bad news, but you're going to be like, this is a change that I know why it was made, and I know why is good, but I am going to talk to a bunch of people who don't like it. And I am the face of that change in some ways.
Makes sense.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Do you think it's also, my only question with that is, do you think it's also partly, not all of it, but partly because the judges have not gotten a chance to envelop the new rules enough and understand them enough to be able to judge, like maybe specifically those two fights being swapped? Do you think, part of it might be the fact that the judges just don't understand enough of like how to apply what's being given to them, because it was a very short window between these rules being applied and them going, okay, we're going to teach the judges these, and then the judges actually having to apply them. So do you think there's something there where the judges just don't understand it well enough yet, and maybe with a little bit more time and tweaking it will settle better, or is it just the rules themselves?
Can I answer first?
Yeah,
yes.
Go ahead.
So
yeah.
I was asking more Julian that because he was about to launch into it.
Oh yeah.
So first thing, that's a heck of a loaded question, and there's like data to pour over it.
Yeah.
Like, we have to look at a lot of we have to look at a lot of fights. We have to look at statistics like, oh, how was this kind of fight judged? How are these fights judged after this and that? We have to watch a lot of footage, and it's Wednesday, guys. Like, we're not even a week out. On the other hand, when you launch a new season patch for a video game and you changed a bunch of stuff, there's growing pains. Yep. That's how I'd like to phrase that. Uh-huh. However, Julian probably has a way more direct answer.
I sure do. As I said, it's very frustrating that I read the rules and did my best to fight under what they expected. And one can say in my first match, I fought more like it was last year, and it was judged more like it was last year. So it's hard to explain, but just like, if I'm reading these rules, and even if they were judged perfectly, they're still complicated, and they remove an important part of both of our robots. Like, I am a control-based fighter, and I think everyone here can agree that I make the fights exciting. If I feel like I go for risky shots. I try not to kill my saw, but if I'm losing, I'm going to throw my saw until it explodes, until my robot explodes. So, like, no amount of rule changes are going to force exciting fights, but they are removing my, ability, it feels almost, to fight intelligently.
Well, I looked at it as they took, like, their bot that they were promoting as, like, the best bot, Jelly Baby, and did it.
Yeah, and I do think that's... I obviously, these rules are somewhat anti-control bot, and I kind of get that. This is a part where I'm, some of you guys might disagree with me, but down at that event where Hookem was competing and Jelly Baby were competing, they were both like top 8. There was like a feeling in the stands where it's like, oh, Jesus. If it's Jelly Baby versus Hook'em in the finals, and it very well looks like it could be, like everyone, no one's going to be happy. But I don't know. Maybe some people would have been. I thought it would have been boring.
I personally really like the way that Jelly Baby fights.
No, I do
can
too.
understand, like, and I think it would be interesting to watch Jelly Baby versus arguably two smaller Jelly Babies.
Sure.
I completely understand why that's boring to most people, though.
Yeah.
Completely understand it.
And that's what
Like-
I mean. Again, like I might find it interesting, but like I could feel it in the building. Even with builders, it was just like, oh brother. But then, I think it's a combination of a lot of things, and like the fact that they are multi-bots, the fact that the fact that last year they weren't, they were basically allowed to fight like wedge bots. Now we have stronger dummy rules.
Yeah. And I would hope that it gets patched a little bit to allow a little bit more for lifters and control bots to have a little bit more. Like I hope control comes back in some way bit, because like my thing has always been, as far as control, like I like to watch sumo matches sometimes. Hell, I like to watch sumo. So like that's a whole other thing though. But like,
let's go. By the way,
oh yeah, sumo's fun as hell, especially once you understand like everything about it, and it's like such a deep dive. But like I really enjoy also the parts of matches where like impact. Like impact can turn down that weapon really low and just be controlling, because and you have to, when you're judging, you have to be like, impact might not be no longer roofing people, but impact is like on it, and it's on it. And like even like Turbo Fiend, like Turbo Fiend is a control bot. As far as I'm concerned, Turbo Fiend is a control bot just as much as it deals damage. It's a control bot. And that's the same thing for like a lot of bots, especially that shape, is like that's a control bot first that has a weapon on it, and the weapon's dealing damage, but really you're controlling your opponent and making sure your opponent goes where you want the opponent to go, and you're not allowing the opponent any control over the box.
Like you're not allowed to recover.
That opponent is devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Let me get a little devil's advocate. You may hear people say, "Oh, well, flamethrowers get to hold as many pins as they want because they're attacking the whole time."
Yeah.
This came up in like a very serious discussion about the rules, which was we actually started on a separate tangent. We said a supreme ruler is always going to argue that it runs out of fuel.
Yep.
And then the answer to that is, well, of course he's incentivized to. And then another question on top of that was, excuse me, burped up potato chips. Then you go one past that question, and it says, well, how did you argue? And then I said, wait a minute, in my grand finals win against Supreme Ruler, they asked us point blank how we think the fight went. And it was sort of a little bit like, let me put on my lawyer hat and argue why I won that fight. Because I knew it was English major, linguistics major. I knew it was a complicated question. And I said, I really chewed up his flamethrower good. And part of that was because the sort of secret sauce of Turbo Fiend is when you hold a pin, you are actively using the weapon the entire time to grind them up at a high speed. It's sort of the fact that it can also roof shot people means that it gets to be a sort of versatile.
Yep.
It's a versatile, like control-y based play on the vert archetype, which is what makes it so interesting. If you mess with pins, you mess with that. I'm not done with my comparison because I think this has a lot of parallel to Magic the Gathering as a sort of esport, especially because we're rolling out a Pro Tour. A, there's a lot of nerd overlap. B, it's a very cerebral type thing. C, you just said something about Hook'em versus Jelly Baby. You know what that screams to me? Control mirrors. A lot of people, A, are bored by them, or B, have a hard time really understanding at the highest level what makes them interesting. The parallel there is grappling matches in the middle of an MMA fight. People don't always understand what makes it interesting, and it can become boring. Sorry to continue making... Yeah?
Demir Mage right here. I know control.
It's funny.
Yes, but...
I also think it's another part of the conversation where you pointed out, as far as like Turbo Fiend being able to roof people sometimes. If you left your weapon at the speed where it's roofing people, you wouldn't make it the whole match. Would you? Like, would you be able to run at 100% the whole match and be able to
run it? Yes, I full blast that thing. I'm Turbo Fiend is hell on wheels. I am throttling that weapon. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
If I could jump in again, it's funny because Turbo Fiend actually spins faster to be more control-y.
Okay.
So it's kind of the opposite of what you'd think. But sort of stepping back about Turbo Fiend, the way Dima wins against a lot of big verts is by getting 1 or 2 pins, and then suddenly that vert has to fight off the back foot. They might spin a little faster, then suddenly they become easier to control. And then Dima knows, like, okay, now I can actually hit them a lot harder. Like, go watch Dima against any big vert. Like, the tide turns when Dima starts controlling them. They know, oh crud, C word. I'm losing on control now. Now I need to win on damage. And now suddenly that control is either neutral or negative. That's the way I see it right now. It removes a lot of the strategy. It's the same thing with the robot like Maximizer. We've seen Maximizer versus Caldera a lot, right? Mm-hmm. When Maximizer wins and wins hard, it's because Jake fights more intelligently. And that's not to say that, Glenn fights unintelligently. It's that's what that archetype is, Maximizer. He can use the plow, he can use the forks to control the enemy and then pick his shots. And I feel like the new rules sort of force it to be an arms race, where it's just who's going to do more damage, who's going to take more damage. Sort of a phrase I've been trying to figure out how to explain is that it's important to cause harm or damage or whatever we want to call it. So if we can all agree on that, including NHRL, then it has to be important to prevent it. You know what I mean? It has to be important to pin a robot and stop them from causing harm. And I do think it's fine if NHRL wanted to tweak those knobs, knock down control a few points, even if it was 1 or 2 points. Like, I don't think that's insane. It would hurt robots like me because, it would be harder for me to win on control. But that's not what I try to do. I try to win on control, then kill people anyway.
Can I play a couple devil's advocates here? Turbo Fiend. First thing, you can kind of have your cake and eat it too with regards to having big verts just smashing against each other and, like you said, tweaking the knobs. And 5-second pins is something not explored. There's also the idea of how do I put this? Points or pins counting against you after the second or so. What if they just weren't worth anything? What if control still wasn't a score, but you weren't penalized for those pins, so you weren't benefited? Like, there's so many variables to consider and so many alternate outcomes that even a little change would cause. Second point, I'm still stuck on Jelly Baby versus Hook'em because I think there's a place in this. I think there's a literal place in the sport for that. If Jelly Baby is possible and Hook'em is possible, if they're both possible robots, they should have a shot at grand finals if they're competent in design, which they both are. So, But here's the thing: NHRL is a live event, and if 30s just smashed against each other, and there's one more fight left, and it's Jelly Baby versus Hook'em, and the fight's quiet and the crowd's quiet, it kind of stinks for everybody but the diehardest of fans. Which is okay. Which is okay if you're watching a TV show version of BattleBots and you can say, let's just skip that one, or that's one episode in 30 per season. But I think the one of the biggest takeaways is they simply just want you to be attacking, and I think there needs to be a way for a bot like Mako to be like, I am pinning you and attempting to attack you, and if there's no attack, I go for a different one, and I'm not penalized for going for a new one. That's the big thing. The other part of it is some archetypes, like it is the buffing and the nerfing thing, but I think there's a little bit of a reckoning with that when flamethrowers are obviously exciting, but the crowd seems a little. This isn't a burnt out is a perfect. I was about to say I didn't want to say something negative, but I'm in there with great audio quality. I can hear.
Hey,
the crowd being quiet.
I'm going to end this because like we're going to go into a 2-hour episode, and I love this conversation. We could continue having this conversation, but like this is going to be a 2-hour episode. Maybe we can come back to this.
My bad, Rainbow.
No, go ahead.
No, we're good. We're good. Go ahead,
Controversial episode, controversial take. Flamethrowers are played out, and I don't love them anymore. I'm so sorry.
Hot take. Flaming hot take. The one thing I'll say is some of the most exciting fights in any combat sport are when you have a huge power striker and somebody's going to try to outskill them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
And these rules are just encouraging a lot more power strikers. And that's fun sometimes, but it's not the only thing that's fun. It's very fun to watch. Like, imagine Mike Tyson versus someone who's trying to dodge all his punches and tire him out and then beat him.
That's needs balance.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is like the other side of the boring thing is not just the control, but the other side of the boring thing is, okay, these two robots came in, they hit once, and the fight is over in 10 seconds. Like, do we want that to be every single fight? Because then that starts leaning in the other way of boringness, and so
Oh, but those make great YouTube shorts. Oh, sorry.
Well, then we're going into a whole other side of this.
Okay. Thomas, why don't you ask your secret question?
It's time. Okay, Julian and Dima, do you have any favorite stage performers, either current or historical? And do you have a favorite amusement ride that might be related to this stage performer?
Oh, baby. I didn't know where Thomas was going with this one, but I'm a big Houdini
never
head.
do.
Houdini?
A big Houdini head. I believe his real name is Eric Weiss. God rest his soul.
You say I believe his name is Eric Weiss. I remember you listening to the audiobook biographies several times. I know you know what it is.
I think that's it. I gotta Google it. I look like a fool if it's not his name right now.
Do not be so humble about your Houdini knowledge.
It is. I don't think I'm pronouncing it right, but that's it. First man to fly a motored plane in the continent of Australia, by the way.
Whoa.
So chalk that up or put that in your brain because it's really important. But big fan of the Houdini ride at Six Flags New England. Is that what it's called?
Yep, New England and Great Adventure.
Only better than New England one. Thomas and I were there a few months ago, and I'll tell you what. When the ride started, I can't. The viewers at home, you don't have video, but my camera just zoomed in a lot because this part's really important. I don't want to spoil the ride if rides are spoilable, but you're sitting.
I mean, just talk about it as if it's doing the thing that's doing, because it is.
Right. The room, the whole room starts moving, and there was a guy sat next to me. And I was like, "Oh God, is this part of the ride?" And he laughed, and that gave me life fuel to sustain myself.
Please let me discuss the fact that you use that bit when we're in an elevator.
Yeah, I do that too. That's my new favorite one. When you're in an elevator, you go, "Oh God, I felt like the whole room just moved."
It kills me every time.
Yeah.
Like he'll do it twice in the same day, like in the San Francisco day.
Yeah. Right. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Also, Dima, do you have any favorite stage performers?
Yeah, Houdini.
Whoa! It runs in the family.
I'm the youngest sister. I don't have any taste of my own.
I mean, Houdini's pretty good.
Hand-me-down tastes.
Yup. Yeah, believe it or not.
I'm done with this combat robotics. Dima, here, you can have.
Well, in a wholesome way, he did get me into it, but that means it wasn't mine.
Well, we successfully stopped talking about rules.
Yeah. Well, that's why I like putting yours in the middle as like a sandwich in the middle of the 5.
It's just
that's messed up. That's trickery.
It works every time.
It does work very well.
Right, who's that?
Tony, why don't you go?
So, as you know, we're expanding around the world with our combat robotics take and everything else. So if you can go to any combat robotic event in the entire world to compete, where would you want to go and why?
Oh, am I allowed to time travel?
Don't say New Zealand. Wait, what?
Sure.
Pangea?
I'm older, so I really, really liked Robot Wars growing up. Even if you go back and watch it and all the bots are crummy, it's just so much fun. With like the house bots or whatever they were called, will come out and crush the loser. Or if it's a boring fight, like they'll make it fun. There's the pit. I think they were dropping a refrigerator at one point. It's just so much fun. And as deep fans of Mako and Julian know, I'm a big wheelie, big cheese fan. Robot Wars, tons of fun. I know it's gone now, but I'm going to use that as my answer.
Yippee! Well, just a little sneak print. We might be having things like that on our site.
Ooh, very cool.
Oh, yeah.
I might be bringing back a weekly, find an old episode and post it up on our site.
Yeah, I've seen I don't know if they're Twitch channels or YouTube channels where they will rewatch old videos, old tournaments, and sort of do commentary. I don't know if that's even legal, but I thought about doing that before, especially because my memory's crummy. It wouldn't be boring for me. It would be exciting. Even some older BattleBots seasons that are still part of the reboot.
Oh, the classic Comedy Central BattleBot stuff.
We'll have to talk because I think that would be an awesome little thing that we could do on the site.
Yeah.
No, I'd definitely be on board with that. I'm
MXC style, where you just dub the entire episode.
Oh, hell yeah!
Yes, please.
Yeah.
What's
Not just the commentators, the robots. You have to dub the robots, the thoughts of the robots.
I think this is sort of a tangent, but I was a super fan of BattleBots as soon as it came out. I saw the commercials, I was like, oh, I love this, before I even saw it. And I always have. But I was one of those dumb fans who was just like, well, the big ones are fun, but all the small ones, they must be boring. So until I, discovered NHRL, that's kind of what I thought. NHRL does a fantastic job of the presentation. A lot of events, even if there's great robots fighting there, it looks like a dingy basement. No good commentary. Dima's not on the mic. NHRL does a very good job of making people realize how good this stuff is. So I know I just maybe talked a little badly about the rules, and I do stand by that. But I also think NHRL is just a fantastic place, fantastic organization that even if they ruin the rules 100%. I'll still show up. I'll build whatever the heck you're going to force me to try to win. I very much love NHRL.
He's so evil.
I am evil.
I didn't get to answer, but I want to go to the UK to go to those crazy Beetleweight events where they have ridiculous arenas. It feels like Halo 2 maps. That's where I want to be. One of the most fun, some of the most fun I've ever had at NHRL was playing King of the Hill with Turbo Friend.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great Rumble too, and you can tell because it keeps getting used in content.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I really enjoy the Strawberry Rumble, but honestly, it's a little more niche compared to the King of the Hill Rumble.
King of the Hill used to make
we used to try and push a lot more of that stuff. Megan is more in charge of the freestyle stuff and a lot of that Rumble stuff now. But we used to try and push that stuff a lot, and NHRL is very busy doing the production and making sure the show and the regular tournament goes. So we would have these ideas and we would present them, and then sometimes they would get through the King of the Hill. Yeah. But most of the time, a lot of the stuff just, they would say, oh, yeah, you can put it here. And then all of a sudden we had to push fights there. And it just happened.
The background of the King of the Hill was we didn't think it was going to happen. That was an idea for a long time.
Where I was going
was going to happen.
I pushed it really hard day of.
Yes. And also, we were like, oh, okay, is it going to happen? We were talking to Jimmy about it and stuff like that. And then suddenly it was Sam's building it. And we were like, oh, it's going to happen.
Awesome.
It's actually Sam's building it. Okay. And it comes out and we get there and we're like, oh, look, it's a cool thing. Oh, it's so good. I think it has to be somewhere still, right? It has to be in the building.
Oh, they use the footage all the time.
Yeah.
It's got to be somewhere on the Brett Zone or on the YouTube channel. It's somewhere.
Bear in mind, that was also, my main robot was only Turbo Friend. And I was begging, saying, please, please, please. I don't consider it. I need to run King of the Hill today.
Yeah.
So little purple game.
I meant to bring this up earlier. What the hell happened? I was all excited for Mass D to see Furious George and Turbo Friends. And then suddenly you two come and you destroy the competition?
Sorry.
What the hell?
There's a
Wait.
dual prong dance.
Is Curious George 3-pound monkey business?
It's Furious George.
Yeah, Furious,
Which is a fantastic name. Not to bring down the mood on the podcast or anything, but that is certainly a robot I want to work on. My employment has been sort of dicey lately.
Okay.
So I was like, maybe I don't spend $300 on a robot when I might not be employed in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'll front it, but it can't be Furious George.
It's such a good name.
It has
Dima's
to be.
I'm your backer. Change that name now.
No, it's a really good name, but those bots explode, dude. And if I'm fronting the money, it's got to be Turbo Freak.
Who said you're fronting the money? I was just gonna wait until I could afford it.
I'm your manager.
For the listeners at
The
home,
younger sister's got to get something out of this deal.
yeah. But what I was saying is, for the viewers at home, I have a 1-pounder called Monkey Business, which is sort of a nightmare-inspired vertical spinner. It's actually kind of a lot like Backlash Wave. Where it's just like a big blade. It's invertible. It actually has a 6-inch blade in a net weight. Sitting it next to Prince, it was almost like the same footprint, only they were a lot beefier, obviously. But
Also
I want to scale that
Adamant
up.
Barrage.
Say what?
Also inspired by Adamant Barrage.
Exactly. Yeah, Adamant Barrage is the 12 hours.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is I want to scale it up. I don't want to do this thing where you just call it Monkey Business 3 or whatever. So I was like, I want to find a monkey or a chimp name, and Furious George came up, and that's just such a good name. So I feel I have to use it.
Can we say something about how there's been a wave of first name bots recently? I'm kind of for it.
Yeah. John Undercutter, I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah. You can't scare me with a big vertical blade. I took Rickety Cricket to the face, so you can't scare me anymore.
That's fair.
That's a big boy.
Rickety Cricket is so awesome.
It's so cool, but it's not cool when you're like, how do I approach this thing with a robot that can't drive right? Okay, I'm dead. Thank you.
Sometimes, okay, a bit of an aside. You know how there's a lot of engineers who do this sport? There's different kinds of scientists, and there are some robots you'll show somebody who I guess likes rocket science, you'd show them Clyde. If you know people who are biologists, you show them Rickety Cricket.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, man. All right.
Okay, so last question of the 5 in Focus is mine. And my question is, you've both become crowd favorites in NHRL, but if you could secretly run a second anonymous bot under a different name at NHRL, what would it be? And how would you disguise your identity? So this is kind of a Mark Tony question.
This is the best question I've ever heard in my entire life.
I don't.
You can't be Tony Clifton. I'm sorry.
Oh, how'd you know?
Wait,
why not?
Wait. Give us your Tony Clifton impression. Let's see.
Julian, you first, because I know what you're gonna say. Because I don't want to steal your one quote from you.
He's been on the podcast before, you know.
Oh, okay. Was that? Whoa.
We're doing impression of Tony Clifton from decades ago as well. That's not just modern Tony Clifton.
I can't do it very well. You go ahead, Dima.
A little bit of whoop-de-doo, whoop-de-die, stick a needle in your eye.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Hold on, now I'm confused. Are we just comparing Tony Clifton impressions, or are we answering the question? Because I got
answer the question. Yeah.
As you guys know, I'm a big fan of the theatrics involved in pro wrestling. So this is actually something that I've considered greatly, to the point where I already have alt Discord accounts made, where I've thought about pretending to sell Mako, and then someone else shows up driving it. That would be me under a luchador mask, of course.
He's talked about selling Mako so many times. I did not even realize that this was like the pro wrestling storyline outcome. Was that it would be a different guy driving Mako?
I don't know what we got. I think this kind of got derailed because Dima started commentating, but like this is the first time I'm revealing this to like anyone besides Gwen, which is funny. But
is this secretly why you cut all your hair to fit underneath the luchador mask?
No, but now that it's revealed, this will have to wait for like years, or there'll have to be something other silly thing. But,
nobody listens to this podcast. It's all good.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine.
But even on like some side Discord servers, I was like, yeah, I got someone who offered me a bunch of money for Mako. And not just Mako, but like the rights to Mako. So I guess I'm selling it. And then, of course, it was going to be me and a mask. And it's like, I mean, you can look at me, you'll obviously know it's me. But the bit would be, me pretending it's totally someone else.
This like got me. Like, I didn't know this. Like,
yeah.
Okay, everybody listening to this podcast, do not tell anybody about this. If
Don't
it
tell
happens,
anybody about this.
just go with it.
you're in on it.
You are in.
You have to get hyped though. You have to help convince the other people, if not Julian.
How hard is that?
And I even was to the point where I was going to like message Gil and be like, hey, this is me. I'm registering under a different name because you guys all know how, a lottery works. I wasn't trying to game the lottery, but it would also be very funny if like I went to the bathroom, changed clothes, and then suddenly it's Julian working on the robot. But I disappear when it's time to drive it.
No,
or
even
whatever.
Better. You don't change your clothes at all. You just put the luchador mask on.
Yeah.
I literally like hear in his voice saying like, guys, I gotta go to the bathroom.
But
No, use a phone booth.
Or phone booth.
You could buy some really nice luchador masks too, like some custom made, really nice. Yeah.
We have masked wrestled before.
There you go.
I actually have a collection of about 30 masks, but unfortunately I have a massive head, so like 1.5 fit me. So I'd have to get like a custom one made.
I have one right next to me.
There you go.
Yeah.
We aren't currently big fans of pro wrestling, but conceptually, I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of getting the crowd more involved, of just hyping everything up. Like, I feel like a lot of times the best robot builders like treat it like chess, like, well, good sir, we're about to have a great match, and just shake hands at the end. And of course, I respect everyone, and like, I love that too, but like, it's like a coliseum. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
Be crazy. Like they're gladiators. Like, and it's the same where like I make my robots exciting. It's like you want to excite the crowd. You want them to go, oh crap, it's Mako. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm on board with doing anything that, makes the fans more excited, involved, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Mark, I really miss having Mark around so much for that sort of stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. And I've sort of been trying to prove that you can be crazy and silly, but still win. Try to win.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of this is true, but I heard that in the old BattleBots days, JMO was asked if he wanted to be a villain, and he flat out said no. And I respect that because in a sense, like, robot combat, like, this isn't enough for you guys. You know what I mean? It's very exciting.
He asked him about that. Actually, he talked about that in the podcast.
I'll have to go back and listen because this is something I like reheard again. And like, I'm the type of person where if someone asks me to be a villain, obviously, I'm going to say yes. As I was here, I'm Evil Julian this year.
It's really funny.
Good.
Before we ever started at NHRL, before we ever met Ray Billings in person, like, they did such a good job making him seem like a villain for those first couple seasons he was on. And even, I'm forgetting his name from Hydra.
The Latches.
The Ewerts.
No,
Ewerts.
The Ewerts.
Yeah.
They do a good job, and I've been told multiple times that he's like the nicest guy. That is not his personality at all. That's just a production crew making him out to be that way. Again, Ray Billings, we met him. He's the nice, like, such a nice person, and they just made him out. Especially, I remember the one clip where, like, he was attacking, and he was like doing a lot of damage to his opponent, and like they were showing almost the same clip of him like laughing maniacally over and over again, and they were twisting in a way of like, oh, look how twisted he is at enjoying doing this. And it's like, he's fighting, like, it wasn't until later on that you realize, like, he's fighting robots. He's just having a good time writing robots. He's not laughing because he's destroying his opponent's robot. Like, that's not what's going on. But
yeah, everyone knows. I didn't even get to answer the question. Just say I am a luchador 500 times. Yeah. But also, you guys don't even realize I already am a villain. In fighting games, in Tekken, I'm like a dastardly villain. I'm despised. I'm honestly well loved, but like people know when I am on screen or on stage, I'm about to do some BS, and I'm about to taunt like a monster. I've invented new ways of taunting that only I do. I've invented taunting that requires like technical acumen, that like requires skill. If I was given the opportunity to just like be separate from the Dima Papasian name, I would put on a luchador mask and a suit of 3D printed armor, and I would be an absolute wretched monster with the lifter. I would make you do the thing twice every single round. KO with the lifter every single round. All 3 weight classes too. Screw it. 3 pounds, 12 pound, and 30 pound.
Same bot. Just stick it in there.
Yeah. Or just multiply it each time.
Yeah. See, but the problem is now I really want to see this. This is all I want now. I just want the luchadors.
I will figure out how to make an evil stable, which is all that we can do.
Yeah. And
it's just so funny because the whole community is just so nice.
Yeah,
it's just so nice. It's like that's part of the problem is like how do you be evil in this community at all? It's like it's so impossible at this point.
Outside of the game in fighting games, I'm also well loved. Like people have me over for Christmas and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, once the cage doors close, dude, we're about to game. So lock in.
Well, this sort of Good. Sorry.
No, I was going to say that's not an environment that I know a lot about because fighting games are not usually my forte. So it's not.
I think I've put on maybe competitive mode on probably like Soul Calibur or something like that.
Soul Calibur is probably the closest.
Just immediately regretted it. Just backed out like, okay, sorry about this. I didn't mean to come into your space. I don't know what this is.
That's good.
Smash Brothers. I used to play Smash Brothers a lot online, but like I would not be good at it.
Oh, Blaze Blue. I love playing Blaze Blue against the computer. I'll play Blaze Blue. Against any other human being? Hell no. Hell no.
By the way, that's like some taste. That's a fine wine type game.
It's a good game, you know?
You get cred at any fighting game locally you go to just by saying you like Blaze Blue.
The first time I played Blaze Blue was it? No, not Blaze Blue. The one it was originally was what the hell is it called? Red. It's got no. It's got Soul Bad Guy.
Soul Calibur.
That's Guilty Gear, but it's different game.
Guilty Gear. The first time I played Guilty Gear was on a broke PS2 that was allowed to play Japanese games, and it was just a Japanese import of Guilty Gear.
That's a sick experience.
No, like my high school girlfriend, like her brother just did all the Japanese games, like everything, like the DJ game, I played
DX.
What the hell is it? Why can't I think of all these? But like every single Japanese game, and they blow every English game out of the water, and you're like, these are the coolest games ever. Oh God, now I can't think of the name of it. You roll around a ball.
Katamari?
Katamari. The original Katamari is just like the coolest game ever.
That is one of my favorite games of all time. But I can't play it because I get a vertigo headache.
Oh yeah.
I think that was probably one of the first what's the genre of just like
they call it cozy gaming.
Cozy
game. It's a very cozy, comfy game. Yeah. Oh, the taiko drum game too, and everything. Oh man,
that's the cutest guy ever.
Yeah. And then playing Tetris on invisible mode, so you can't see the actual blocks as they go down. So a lot of stuff, but
Nice.
We're just talking games right now.
Yes.
That's right.
Can I another quick aside? Let me tell you my favorite thing besides fighting games. I feel like people would appreciate this. It's called mystery games. And it's a tournament where every round is a different game. And they're typically 1v1 games, so you're still facing somebody, but instead of just like, oh, we're gonna sit down and play Street Fighter, it's like, okay, round 1 is you have to race each other in Cruis'n USA for the N64.
Nice.
Round two is you have to play like literal Pong. Round 3 is I don't know, Super Monkey Ball versus mode. It's a really fun experience if you just love video games. If you just love playing different video games, and it's like Christmas because you never know what the next game is going to be, and every time it's like, all right, we're sitting and playing the Enter the Matrix versus mode on the PS2. It's like awesome. This game, I've never seen this game before in my life, and I never will again. And I'm about to play it for a tournament. It's fun.
That's how it
Very
goes.
cool.
Sorry, I just wanted to plug that.
You're good.
It's like my gaming passion. I actually care about it more than fighting games.
No, that's very cool.
Just Cuz Robotics brings you the latest and greatest in beetle-weight drive motor technology, the Blitz Lite, mini-size for mighty drive. At under 45 grams, these are the lightest and smallest 6mm shaft drive motors on the market. Our Blitz Lite gear motor includes a fully custom 20mm all-steel gearbox mated to a customized 1604 brushless motor in either 2850 or 3800 kV options. The 29:1 gearbox has a super durable chromoly steel 6mm output shaft and M3 threaded face mounting. The Blitz Lite can deliver the same peak torque as our awesome Dartbox Dragon brushed motors, but are 37% shorter and 25% lighter weight from brushless power. Make your bot a bit lighter with the Blitz Lite, available today at justcuzrobotics.com. That's just C-U-Z robotics.com.
Hey everyone, you're already listening, so you know the fights don't end when the episode does, but the Havoc Rundown now lives over at HavocRundown.com. Again, that's HavocRundown.com. That's where we're posting combat robotics news, hosting every episode of the show, and running the largest combat robotics bot registry that's ever been put together. Stats, history, teams, and results, all built to grow alongside the sport. We're also curating fight videos, rolling out community games, and dropping merch for anyone who wants to rep the chaos. And the 2026 Fantasy League is live right now. You can create your own Fantasy League for a full season or spin one up for a single-day event. Draft robots, track performance across events, and compete in a way that actually fits how combat robotics is run. This year, our focus is the sport as a whole. If robots are fighting, it belongs in the conversation. All leagues, all formats, all rule sets from local events to competitions around the world, we have got you covered. Thank you for listening, everyone. Let's get you back to the episode and back to the chaos right now. Okay, so we're going to move from that, and we're going to move on to our next segment. So we open up the questions before an episode to our listeners to see what our listeners want to know from our guests. So we're going to dial into our voicemail and see what's on the listener mailbag.
You've reached the voicemail of
the Havoc Rundown.
Please leave your message after the tone.
So I have quite a few here. There's a couple people that asked, specifically Nick, who's going to be the first one, and he's always the first one, asked one question for Julian, one for Dima, and then one for both of you. So we'll start with Julian. Nick from Crafty Cat Comment says, "Hi Julian, longtime fan, first time caller. We all know that's wrong, Nick. You literally ask a question every single episode."
It's the first time. What?
First time.
Have you ever considered changing the name of the bots to MK and TRBFND now that you have seen how vowels can slow you down? # fry the fish.
All right, so here's a guy, and we could just stop recording right now. Here's a guy who's specifically antagonizing me and doing it on purpose. And this is a bad guy right here. And this is why we're not friends. If you guys can't tell, there's little evil Julian there. He's bullying me because I lost to Berserker with no vowels.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm considering everything at this point.
I think you should add extra vowels.
Extra vowels. Maybe.
Bro, I'm with you. Torch that bridge. I honestly really like vowelless Turbo Fiend. I'm not gonna lie. It is impossible to read that and get the real pronunciation, but it would look so cool on a t-shirt. Whatever.
It would.
That's gonna be your should be your license plate.
Ooh, nice.
Let's go. I'm locking in that paperwork tomorrow.
Yeah. Get the pizza plate. Get the pizza plate too.
No, I can't wait to merge without looking and cut somebody off, and they're like, "What is Turb Fund?"
Do they work for a hedge fund?
It's fine. You won't be driving as bad as the New York drivers. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
New Haven driving, New Haven pizza. Don't mind if I do.
Yep.
Okay, so that is Nick trying to antagonize Julian.
I hijacked.
And it worked.
He said, Dima, you've really thrown yourself into the announcer side of things at NHRL. As someone who has done all day as both competitor and announcer, what's one thing you wish the two sides knew about the other that might otherwise go unnoticed?
Okay, I have had some people, I'm not going to say who, kind of imply to me, like, oh, I could just do commentary. And I'm like, yeah, you have a lot of insight. It is kind of hard, though, to do it for, like, hours and hours and stay interesting. And, like, even I know, like, I could be doing a lot better with my bits. and he was like, no, I could totally do that. And I seen him not have the stamina in competition. And it's honestly, I'm not going to say who. What if I was just making it up? But regardless, like, the commentary side of it is like, you don't get to just have dead air. That's like the super hard part. It's like you really just are on. And like after the event was done, I hung out with some people afterward, and guess who couldn't shut off? Because I put in all the effort to get ridiculous, like be ready.
You turn that switch on and you couldn't turn the switch off.
It's like a switch that's like you can banter infinitely as long as you have the stamina, and I could not turn the switch off even when I did not need to anymore.
See, my problem is, like, you know those the smoke alarms that have the battery that never dies? You just like turn the kill switch off at the end. I've got one of those batteries.
Yeah, I need a kill switch installed on me ASAP.
No, do not do that.
No, it's just for the banter switch. Jeez. The I didn't get to answer like what's the part the other folks wish I knew.
Yep.
From the commentary side, thinking about the competitors, like those builder sheets are awesome, and they're not like a guideline. Like it kind of I feel really bad sometimes when I mispronounce I feel awful when I mispronounce somebody's last name. Sometimes they write it down and it's on me that in the moment I might slip up in speech, but I got to do better about it, but it's so rough when it happens, and it's just an honest mistake.
Yep. And what if you're trying to pronounce someone's name for 10 seconds and then suddenly the fight's over? You know, you have to
keep it moving. You have to keep it moving constantly, and I can't have my nose in the sheet. So sometimes in the pit on Friday, I will walk with the builders and say, like, tell me something interesting about your bot. If you could just throw me as a commentator like a fun fact every now and then. It's something you want the audience to know. That's what I keep phrasing it to people. Is like, I get to tell everybody about your robot. Tell me something awesome that you want the audience to know. Because I really am like for the builders in commentary, because I know how awesome it is to be a competitor and have the commentator read my bio and like talk about it for a second, or just like, I don't know, the commentators are fans of the sport too, so you end up being a fan of whoever you're talking about in the moment. That's the beautiful thing about it. Sorry, I'm ranting a little bit.
No, you're
good, dude. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah. No, you're fine.
Nick once.
It's 10:30.
This is what the audience wants.
Do you guys all have a master sheet still, or are you doing your own notes or like?
There's a live stat sheet. I don't know if I'm supposed to be sharing secrets. There's a live stat sheet that gets updated, and when you click on a fight that's upcoming, it brings up the builder sheet for each robot. Sometimes,
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll be missing one, and I don't know if it's like due to error or something. And sometimes I'm on my phone and I don't got internet, and we're in a 5-mile underground bunker, and I gotta start bringing a laptop, but I don't own a laptop. I gotta buy one.
You can just run like a 5-mile Ethernet cable.
Yeah,
I love asking. I love being like, hey, thank you so much for having me. Can I run some cables through here?
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, you could always find like one of the million iPads that are around the building and do that too.
People are using those. When I was concierging, I was like, don't steal my iPad. I had the like the armband thing, and I was a concierging, and I felt so like bossed up in the pit. You know what I mean? I had a little pit boy.
So like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. It was sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So next question for the two of you is: outside of video games and combat robots, what's something neither of you have done that you think you could compete in and be fairly even with each other in?
Ooh, I saw this question. I saw all these questions, not to ruin the mystique.
Something we're evenly matched at.
I've always wanted to face someone in a cooking contest.
Bro, I'll get you. I'll get you.
You'll get me.
I'll get you, ass.
You'll get me. Especially if it was like a blind taste test where it's like, we both cook meals and no one's trying to make one or the other happy. It's like, I think that would be very fun. And I think we would be potentially evenly matched, but like, of course, I would win. Like, we all know that.
I would poison you, idiot.
What?
I love hearing the sibling rivalry.
As soon as you mentioned we eat each other's food, I was like, obviously I'm gonna poison you.
That's not what I said. No, other people would eat it.
Poison them. I don't care.
I guess all the judges are dead, so I guess I win by default.
I was gonna say you can't judge me if you're dead.
Yeah, that's good.
As a former chef and somebody who has done food competitions before. Yeah, sounds fun. If you need a judge, I mean, like
you really want to try judging after the conversation we just had?
You're not gonna kill me. I'll be fine.
We'll see.
That's people. But Julian is like, I'm evil, and I'm like, I'm gonna poison you, and you're like, it's fine.
And the cops investigated, but both of us poisoned him.
Yep. And the two poisons just like hit each other in my stomach, and I'm fine. It's
like
okay.
An Always Sunny plotline.
Yes.
Oh yes. Well, they did have the Flip Cup episode where they poisoned the. Yeah.
There's that, but there's also the bit about stomach neutralization that Mac brings up.
Yeah.
It's two-part.
Okay, so let's move on to Matt from Pandabots, from Pandemonium. He says, Julian, how do you come up with chance and awesome branding ideas? And Dima, when Turbo Fiend return?
Go. I guess I'll start with this.
The question was to you first. My bad.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think Matt's bringing this up because I was the one who was leading the charge on the "It's the wall" in finals. Well, first off, it's just like a very good phrase to say. Even before, like, I've always really liked hyping up the matches. Even if I don't know who it is, it's just fun to get the crowd excited, like I was saying before. I've noticed that chants don't really work. If it was the wall, or whatever, like 10 people might get excited and then it's just going to die 10 seconds later. So instead of trying to get that going, I just decided I'm going to scream, "That's the wall!" Just like almost constantly. And then Kevin and Matt were next to me, and anytime that I was quiet, they would just chime in. So it was almost just like we were bouncing off each other, just constantly yelling. And it was hilarious, and it got people into the match. And anytime something fun, anytime Ben did something good, we would go, "That's the wall!" I think at one point the camera got taken out, and I was like, "That's the camera!" And it's just, like I said before, like this is robot fighting. Like, we're allowed to have fun. And I think Good.
On your point of the chance, I think chance is a stamina thing, as people sometimes just run out of interest in doing it, and they don't know when to end it. It's the same thing with like when you go to a sports, like any kind of sports game, and they do the wave. Like people are like, I kind of want to do that, even if it goes through one way. People continue trying to do it, and you're like, why? I think it's the same thing with chance. Like it's, I totally understand what you're saying with that.
Yeah, but so my point was like, I'm gonna do this. So if anyone else wants to chime in, you guys can. But if not, I'm just gonna be screaming about the wall every 3 seconds. It was a lot of fun. Another recent one I did was at Mass D Showtime. I just kind of got a good win, and I was like, I think it might be showtime. What time is it, guys? It's showtime. And then I think it may have been like Kokoto or someone who was next to me was like, it's 6 p.m. It's like, so that was really good. Like, I'm a big fan of just, being silly. Like, everyone, we can have fun and still be silly.
I love making hype too. I should just be louder on camera. I gotta train my voice. It's a little difficult, guys. Turbo Fiend return when it's hard. Nobody is giving me any negative feedback whatsoever on commentary, which is really frustrating me. A, because it's not giving me anything to work on. B, it's just making me think like, oh, well, I'll just stay here. This is awesome. I get to watch robot fights all day and just talk constantly, which I love doing. Love the sound of my own voice. It's hard to say. You're gonna have to either kick me out of the writer's room, or you're gonna have to, I don't know, incentivize me, offer me some sort of ridiculous grudge match, or like a Faustian bargain, or a deal with the devil that'll get me back behind the Turbo Fiend sticks.
Okay. So Matt, with the builder behind Kilico, who's on our server, says, Julian and Dima, with both your backgrounds, to my knowledge, not being in engineering, how have your experiences, success, and failures helped you in other industries?
So this is an interesting one, and yes, he's correct. I have a computer science and game design degree, which is like sort of adjacent, but like as you guys all know, like there's not really coding in robots unless you're doing like a melty brain or something. There can be, but
unless
it's
you're
always...
why am I Pearl? Unless you're Pearl.
Right, yes. There are ways to involve it, but like it's not a key to success, I suppose we'll say.
Right.
It's funny, like anytime I talk to someone, I'm like, yeah, I build robots. They're like, oh, that's cool. Do you code them all and everything? And I'm like, yes, but there's not really coding. But to answer the question directly, I am just very obsessive about this, and I'm very competitive. And I think it's my drive that allows me to be as successful as I am. Like, I don't think I'm very good at designing compared to a lot of people. And I look at people like Seth or Liam, and I think they're way better drivers than me. But I do my very best just to learn everything. I try to read literally every message that comes through on the 3-pound chat, even though there are times when it's just useless garbage. But I just try to soak up all the knowledge I can. And I think my obsessive nature, more than my background, is what allows me to succeed. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think, Dima?
I don't know. We kind of barely even touched on like how competitive we are as people. Yeah. Like for me, kind of all my hobbies are competitive, and even my non-competitive ones, like I love doing visual art and stuff like that. I'm competing with myself, and that's kind of how I treat commentary. Like I'm always trying to do a better job, yada yada yada. The question said industry specifically, and I wanted to chime in and be like, you mean like work? You want me to talk about work? Most of my career, it's kind of not right now, but most of my career has been in sales, which I love. And sales is kind of, you either love it or you hate it, especially if you want to do it for like multiple years and not just like try to get a bag and get out. I love it because it enables a competitive personality, and you're constantly trying to win. Like you have deals that you're trying to win, and it's funny when you log a deal in like your CRM or whatever, for those that work with those things, to like log a deal as closed won and like smack your hands together and be like, yup, I just made a bunch of money. It owns so hard, it rules. And I'm using an entirely different set of slang that I would use on NHRL commentary, which is funny because it's like my other voice. But I don't know. It's just, it translates to robots in a different way. Like our backgrounds aren't in engineering. Our backgrounds are in competing, and we really wanted to compete. We really wanted to compete in this, and we did, and we kicked everyone's butts.
Not everyone. I don't have a dumpster yet.
Whatever. You could be like 1% more evil, bro.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Here's a funny story related to that. Like, Dima just won Mass D 2 weeks ago or whatever at this point, and like she won, and for a split second, I don't know if she said it out loud or she just said it later, but she was like, she thought that was the first time she won a tournament.
Yeah.
And that
I almost teared up for a second. I was like, "Wow, my first win!" And then I was like, I shook my head like a cartoon character. Like, what am I thinking? Maybe that's just my weird attitude and personality.
Yeah, I think it's actually something that Dima have talked about recently within smaller communities, where it's like, is our drive like nature or nurture?
We'll never know.
We'll never know. And I think part of it, I think is sort of like I have a chip on my shoulder to try to prove that I am good to myself, but everyone else, you know. But yeah, like even, I got third at Worlds or whatever. So a lot of people would be happy with that. And not this year, but last year, 2024 now. Man, I'm washed up. That's why I'm evil, Julian. What was I saying?
Kids these days don't even say washed up; they just say washed.
Yeah, I'm washed. I'm unwashed. I'm stinky, and I'm washed. But what was I saying? Like, I really never like to accept, like, okay, that was good. And of course, I do, take a step back and like appreciate my accomplishments. But like, I always want to do more. Like, I think the ultimate goal is to get first and second at Worlds one day with Dima. That might not be the current goal, especially because she's commentating and kicking butt. But like, I think that is just like, you can't get much better than that. But yeah, like I'm just very driven, and I don't think I'm necessarily the best at designing. I know I'm not the best at designing. Like, my robots are kind of silly and dumb. But
wait! You're not the best at designing. Let's go backwards in Mako.
Sure.
Okay, let's go backwards in Mako. You started as a modified SSP, right?
Yep.
And with that first modified SSP, it was good enough that people knew Mako after that tournament.
Yeah,
that's an accomplishment. You put yourself out of the Beetleweight tournament, and everybody after that tournament was like, "Oh, look, it's Mako." Yep. And now you've designed a robot that everybody knows what it is, everybody knows who you are, and you have won so much. You were like the number one for a while.
I don't have a dumpster though. I don't have a dumpster though.
I love
you. It doesn't matter.
Ryan, I love you, but you're never gonna get it either, and he's never gonna listen because
I understand.
I understand. That's the attitude. I'm the same way.
I love hyping up people that like I really enjoy. I just want you to be hyped and understand that people like are super hyped to even like it be in the same room as you and like fight alongside of you and everything like that. Like, you gotta come on. You'll get a dumpster, your dumpster will eventually come. You just need to make a meta robot that NHRL likes, okay?
And that actually reminds me, you were like, when I play fighting games, I accidentally wound up in ranked, and it's like I'm stepping back. Dima and I are the type of people where it's like we're entering ranked as soon as we can.
Like, can I play Farm Simulator as my number one game, so like that's how I chill. I mean, like, I'm playing Grounded too right now, which is like, it's a little bit like, it's got a lot of fighting and kind of cool stuff in it, but like my number 1 hours is like Farm Simulator and like Power Wash Simulator and stuff like that. So I chill. That's what I do.
We have no chill. I get yelled at in fighting games because people know I won't even enter the practice mode whatsoever. And my combos, I am I'm probably the best at my character in North America, and my combos aren't perfect. Like, they're not even optimal. But I have 20,000 ranked games.
there is competitive farming simulator. It is a whole thing. That's like hard to explain why it's a whole thing, but it is a whole thing. But I don't do that shit. No.
And I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are like getting late. So
Yeah, sorry.
I feel like this is going to be like a hard. I'm just trying.
Speed run.
Okay, so
I know this is a question.
Yes.
So Justin.
So, without getting too far into it, hey Julian, Anthony wants to know what happened to the chicken parm.
Oh my God! You just talked about how we can't go on late, and now we have to talk about this.
This is bad. This is bad.
This is bad. This is bad. This is real bad.
The audience needs to know.
The audience needs to know. You're trying to split up the Papasian siblings. Okay. This was a long time ago, probably about 15 years at this point. I worked retail, living at home. Dima also living at home. People who work retail, like sometimes you get called in on like a Saturday afternoon. And if you're a good worker, you show up. So I had heated up a mighty fine platter of chicken parmesan.
I'm gonna pull up which frozen meal it was.
You're gonna what?
I'm gonna pull up which chicken parmesan it was.
Okay, yeah, probably Stouffer's. Regardless,
Yeah, hold on.
Beau-
No, you don't have to
beautiful
hold on.
dish.
I got it though.
beautiful dish, enough to feed a whole family,
Not
or
true.
me. I heated it up, and then I got called into work, and I went to work. It was probably like a 6-hour shift because it was like the afternoon. I come home, the entire thing was gone. The whole platter. And Dima can pick up here and tell the
My side of the
viewers,
story?
listen. Yeah, you can tell.
My side of the story. Okay, we're both living at home. I'm a hungry middle schooler. I have just gotten home from school at 3 o'clock or so, and I don't think Julian is home.
I wasn't.
He
Go on.
wasn't. And what is in the fridge? I mean, what is in the microwave? Literally sitting in the microwave, but a chicken parmesan meal that has already gotten cold again and is already. I can't speak to true memory. I feel like I might have asked I might have asked my mom, is anybody going to eat this?
Oh, and you didn't know? And you didn't assume it was going to be me?
Oh, you didn't know? How? You were getting home like 6 hours after this point,
Yeah, and I'm hungry,
it's not
right?
in the fridge, and you didn't tell anybody to put it in the fridge.
Right, so you had to heat it up instead of putting it in the fridge, right?
I didn't heat it up. I just ate it.
Okay, the point is,
Dima's in the right.
if I'm fortunate enough to outlive Dima, I'm going to be bringing this up at her funeral, and there will be no forgiveness.
Plus, guys, you don't know how good it is to be doing your Wrath of the Lich King weeklies and dailies with a full chicken plate of chicken parmesan.
Oh,
I'm rubbing it in bad right now.
Oh,
my
man.
If this funeral does happen, I will defend Dima on this.
For-
It was
I
good,
team
too.
the
It's a
chicken.
good meal.
For one, I do know because I used to be an Italian chef and I used to come home and do wow afterwards with whatever leftover food I had.
Let's
so yes,
go. Let's
yes.
go.
So I will say, growing up as siblings with Justin, I think every time I've eaten, especially like in a new relationship or something like that, and people watch me eat, they're like, "Why do you eat so fast?" And I'm like, because it'll be gone. So,
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, because if I don't eat as fast as possible, then there is no sharing left, and that's why it's gone. So, yeah, I could totally see warming something up and coming home and be like, where'd it go? And Justin being like, I don't know, it's delicious though. I have no idea.
Oh, wait, the funny thing is, there was no debate. There was no confusion.
Yeah.
Dean was just
Yeah.
like, yeah, I ate that.
Yeah.
I ate it, and it was good.
I did eat it. It's not a.
Yeah, we know.
It's not an
Oh, I know.
X-File.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that clears up that mystery. Megan says, Megan actually, our free sale guru, has a question from her dad. who says, your bots seem to be very, so this is for both of you, your bots seem to be very stylish and colorful. Mako, for example, can you describe the process of what goes into building decisions, materials, weapons, colors, names for your robots?
Dima, you want to start? I've been dominating the conversation a bit.
It's okay. So Julian likes to go with a sort of a simple is best design, at least to start on a robot. He'll iterate from there, but one of the reasons our robots are so bright and colorful is because it ties into the fact that we're making big pieces of plastic that are easy to repair, and I think that's sort of like easy to repair and like, I don't want to say simple design because it's not simple, and overall the iterations it's become more and more complicated with tons of little tiny details that most people won't notice or ever know that like kind of inform why they fight the way they do and why they're so good and why they're so fun. But we make things in big chunks, in big pieces. There's not a ton of tiny assembly happening there. There's not a ton of tiny machine pieces or whatever. I think that those like sort of the big plastic that we're doing lends itself to a bright, vibrant toy-like design. And I infer toy way more for Turbo Fiend and Turbo Friend because they're anthropomorphic. Not anthropomorphic, they're not like human, but they're like little creatures. They have little eyes. Mako doesn't have little eyes, but it moves like an animal, and I think part of it is just like, I don't know, we're given the option of being, you could just use black TPU if you wanted, or just white TPU, although we did do that once. Probably never again.
What? Can I offer you see-through TPU? See-through TPU.
That's a risk.
Transparent TPU.
Then they'll see where they gotta aim.
But you know what I mean? Like, we could just go for black TPU, or we could go for something neon green that glows in the dark. Or we could go for bright red that like looks like a big gummy.
Yeah. And it's funny because like when I ran Mako the first time as an SSP, like I it was up in the air what color I was going to use. It was like, oh, it was going to be orange, it's going to be purple. And I think the commentary the first time they saw me, they were like, why is a shark bright yellow? But like, as soon as you see it fight a few times, like that's just what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and now that the colors were sort of synonymous, I think like the iconography is also interesting on Mako. Like Dima's robots are sort of like creatures. Mine actually has like a creature drawn on it. So like the little guy is Mako, like in like the classic shorts that have gotten a lot of views. Like you see the cut happen, and then you see like a little shark with the angry eyebrows. It's sort of memorable and it's unique. Where I think a lot of robots are sort of like badass. That's sort of like the default theme, and those are very cool too. But it's sort of fun to have your own thing, where Mako is like an evil, cute little mischievous shark. And then you sort of just work backwards from there, I guess.
Yeah, part of it is it ends up like feeling like we slap on design elements that feel natural in the moment. Like we just talked about how Mako was originally an SSP kit. It wasn't totally completely lime green, and then it was like, well, if I'm gonna keep going with the lime green parts, it might as well be entirely lime green, etc. For Turbo Fiend, it got like more curved and evil looking over time because we kept fighting with it, and it like took on like the devilish tone. That was always part of like the theme, but you know, we kept iterating and we kept just being like, well, this feels natural, right? Julian does more of the design work than I do, most of it, but you know what I mean, right? You can corroborate that.
Yep.
The question also asked weapons, and I think the ease of use thing kind of feeds into the weapon. Not saying that Mako's weapon design doesn't have a ton of thought put into it, but like he does often brag about how it's a shelf you can just buy. I mean, a saw off the shelf you can just buy. And Turbo Fiend uses a hub motor, which is comparatively easier to use than other motor and weapon assemblies. So part of it is just like we're gonna try an easy thing that's new to us and see what happens. It just happens that it ends up usually working really well, and we keep going with it.
Yeah, I think the one of the classic jokes about Dima and I is that we don't know how to do belts or gears. And it's not really a joke; it's just true. Like I've talked to like multiple people. They're like, "Bro, I will show you how to do belts." And I'm like, "Yeah, maybe we'll see."
It's an extra point of failure. It's fine.
Yeah, I like the simpler a robot is, the better. Like the best robots in the world, their belts randomly get hit. You know, think of what was it, Chomp versus Bite Force. Remember? Is that the one? That's like the only loss they've really had, where it was like they lost their weapon. Where if the weapon was, you know what I mean? Not that I'm comparing myself to that robot, obviously. I'm saying when I don't have belts, I don't have gears, my design doesn't have to take those into account. I can focus on other things. You know, I'm not going to lose a match here or there because my belts fail. I'm going to lose matches for other reasons, but like, I like simple designs. The simpler, the better.
Nice. Okay, so we're going to move on to our last question, which is actually the closest we've ever had to a live ask question. Che actually put this in the mailbag 10 minutes ago as we were chatting. So I'm going to choose. She put 2. I'm going to read you the second one. Because you already kind of answered the first one about aesthetics and that kind of stuff. So her question is...
I just see that question. Let me get to it after. Sorry.
Okay.
Why don't we'll pick that one then?
It was like is artistic expression / fashion something that's always been part of your lives? Because she shouted out my jacket, which I was really proud of. Fashion has not always been part of my life. I did not want to dress myself until I was an adult and out on my own, and admittedly transitioning, not to make it all about me, but we love being flashy, and like we wore luchador masks and tights in the ring. We love that aspect of it. It's just that artistic expression isn't always something that bleeds through, but sometimes it does. If it's just something that we apply to our hobby or ourselves. Like, I admit I don't really care about dressing up for work to go to the office, but whenever I go out to literally any event, I throw a little something together. But yeah, in fighting games, like I built my own controller. I did express myself that way. I think that sort of expression is a big part of us. We're very expressive people. Sorry,
Okay, awesome.
But the second part.
No, you're fine. So you both seem to find yourself more and more in the spotlight as recognizable influences in the sport, which the Lee family loves. What has it been like to experience and navigate that visibility?
I'm actually almost crying, which is kind of crazy. But it means a lot to me when like young kids come up to me and be like, "Yo, your robot's so cool. Can I get a picture with you?" or whatever. Like, I had like 4 people ask for selfies on the past Saturday, which is just crazy to me, because it means like they're getting excited about this. And I think especially for like nerds like us, having a sport like this where like you can be yourself, it just means a lot. And hopefully like being an influence to these people where it's like, it's okay to be weird, it's okay to have fun and still like compete your heart out. It means a lot. Evil Julian shouldn't be crying.
Yeah, I'll jump in. I'll say
you're not evil.
I'll take you, bro.
Hey, look what you've done.
I'll save you, bro. Being in the spotlight has been super important to me, and not nearly as I should have never been as afraid of it as I was. And I've told people in NHRL staff this as well, but NHRL was one of the first times in my entire life where I was like out as myself. I kind of the start of my NHRL career kind of coincides with the start of my HRT, which is essentially the start of my medical transition, and it's not related in that way, but it just happened to coincide that way. I didn't expect to become visible through the sport. I expected to be Julian's sidekick, if anything. And we have different roles now, and I am visible for something outside of even just competing by his side. What has it been like to experience it? Unreal. I'm talking to people right now who are listening to like my real unfiltered voice and actually care what I have to say. It's ridiculous. In all my other sports and combat robots in martial arts, you're a silent figure for the most part. You just get up there and play the game. People listen to me talk sometimes around there, but not nearly to the same regard as I'm held at NHRL, which is just so strange to even be held in your people's regard. It's a really beautiful thing, and it's not hard to navigate at all. And every fan, every build that I've ever spoken to, this is literally the best community ever. Everybody's so sweet, especially the people who ask this question. But I have a fan that made a candy bracelet for me and Turbo Fiend that I wear every day. I take it off to sleep.
That's awesome.
I take it off to sleep and go to the shower, and that's maybe it. And there's never... I'm probably going to get a tattoo of Turbo Fiend eventually and Turbo Friend. But it's... I don't know. I guess it is getting late, so I take the opportunity to use this question to say thank you guys for making us visible, because it's really beautiful to be seen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Damn. Yep. We got the most wholesome question as we were recording.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trey.
Thank you, Trey.
Buzzer beater. Let's go.
Yeah.
Before we wrap things up, let's zoom out for Norwalk and take a look at what's been happening across the combat robotics world over the past couple of weeks in our segment, Havoc Inside the Arena. We're going to start with the big one, of course, the NHRL Open World Championship Round 1 on February 7th. The 30-pound champion was Kazaa Light, the 12-pound champion Buzzkill, 3-pound champion was Wall Part 2, and new for this year, the XP 3-pound champion was Gremlin. We're going to move up to Massachusetts for Mass Destruction. The plastic ant-weight champion was Illegal Dorito, and beetle-weight champion was Turbo Fiend. Down in North Carolina at the St. Valentine's Day Massacre Mixer, the beetle-weight champion was Snuggle Muffins, and the plastic ant was Viewfinder. The ant weight was Cinnamon Roll, and fairy weight was Scintillator. Moving over to Winter Wars 26 in Oregon. Beetle weight was Toad Rage. The plastic ant winner was Void, and the fairy weight winner was Zip Zop. Moving over to the online at Bot Rumble for January 2026 from Utah. The 150 gram combat winner was Swiss Cheese, and the 150 gram control winner was Wide Boy. We're going to zoom way out and go over to Latvia at Prelude Robotics. In their competition, the beetleweight winner was Tara Bates, the antweight was Nyx, and the fairweight champion was Quattronomini. I think that's how you say that. Moving over to Oklahoma at the Tech Center Takedown. The antweight winner was Not a Boy, and Plant was Sidewinder. Moving over to New York, Big Apple Bash. The antweight winner was Enigma. At Scar in California, Clash at the Comb. The antweight winner was G-Money, and fairweight was Splinter. And from the Impact Robotics League Winter Wreckage in California, the Open Division winner was Arcstar, the Intermediate Division was Megavolt, and the Beginner Division was Over. From 150 gram bots to 30-pound bruisers, from Boston to Latvia, the sparks are flying everywhere. The 2026 season is officially underway, and it's only going to get louder. Now let's finish up the episode. That's going to wrap up Season 3, Episode 3 of Havoc Rundown. Huge thanks to Julian and Dima for joining us and sharing their stories, their madness, their deep dives into their branding, their bots, and everything in between. Thank you guys so much for being on. It was an amazing conversation.
Thank you for having me. And when I was crying earlier, that was fake. I was acting. That was me testing a new good character.
Okay.
Just saying.
I thought you were going to say that's something that we put in post.
Or that. It was CGI.
Thank you.
Audio CGI.
Thank you guys for having me. I got to talk at you guys on the NHRL stream all day on Saturday, and you guys want me to keep talking? Awesome.
Yeah.
No, we loved it. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Won't stop.
Yeah.
So whether you're rooting for Mako, Turbo Fiend, or just here for the ride, this was a stacked episode that kick off our NHRL 2026 coverage. And we're just getting started. If you want to keep up with us, check our fantasy standings to learn more about upcoming guests and episodes. Head over to our official site, HavocRundown.com. That's HavocRundown.com. There you can get our podcast episodes, merch, games, fantasy, everything that you want out of the podcast. Thanks for listening, and as always, we'll see you in the pit. Everyone say goodbye.
Bye. Everyone say goodbye.
Parmesan.